Guys, this episode we're going to be going over how to solder, which is a very big part of RC if you want to get into the hobby. Okay, the most important part about soldering is having a good soldering iron that you have no problem with using. This is the soldering iron I use, and it's actually a soldering station, so I have this to clean the soldering iron, and I have an adjustable temperature. This is a really good one. It's the Track Power one, and I highly recommend it. Many people ask me what connectors to use, and I recommend Dean's. They disconnect very easily when they get hot. They're pretty cheap. See, I got these for $3.25. That's really good in my mind, but it's just a good price and a great value. So now that we have all of that figured out, it's time to get ready to go. So I opened a window just because solder has lead in it. Some people don't worry about it. It's not a big deal in my mind either. But then you just need to plug in your soldering iron and turn it on. And you want to set the temperature. See, I set mine to around 740 is a really good temperature for me because it's hot, but it's not too hot, so you can do it quick. You don't drop a lot of, drop a lot of solder with it. It's a good temperature, and yeah. Okay, let's get started. So you have the end, so let's just cut this off. Just like this. Some people have special pliers just for the cutters and stuff just for the wires, but I just use typical cutters. Okay, so you get it like that, and then what I do is I cut it not fully through, just the rubber, and then I can pull it off and twist it. Okay? It's fairly simple. It's pretty hard to cut through the wire by accident, but it happens. So don't feel bad if that happens. And the amount of solder you'll put on your first time may be a lot, but that's okay. It happens to even experienced soldering people. I don't know what they're called, but okay, so here's the end right here, and to find out which wire goes to which side, what I do is I connect it up with something that's already soldered, and then now I know that this side right here goes to the black wire. So what I'm gonna do is I could use a marker, but I don't have one with me right now, so I'm just gonna take this X-Acto knife. I'm just gonna put a little mark on it, just so I know. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there's a little bit of, yeah, there you go. There's a little bit of a mark on there, just so that I know. And then I take it off, because this gets pretty hot. I recommend that you guys get one of these. They're not necessary, but they're very helpful. So you put it on here. Wait 1 second. This is mostly uncut, so just bear with me, guys. So you just put it in here, and just tighten it down. But you might want to do it so that you can still see which one is marked. See, I can see that the left one is marked, so that's where the black wire goes. Okay? So, okay, now that I have that, I'm going to get my soldering iron, which is heated up and ready to go, and I'm going to put some. You'll hear me blowing, but that is just so that I keep the lead away from me, So it's just a good thing to do if you solder a lot, which I do. If you're just soldering once, it's probably not a big deal, but okay, so you just melt it on here. It's very simple. You just, with this temperature, it makes it so much easier. Here, let me get you closer there. So you just melt it right onto the wire. See that? See how it's going down and melting on there? Okay. So, once you do that, you're going to take some solder and your soldering iron, and you're going to burn it on to this, to what you're soldering the wire onto. It can be sometimes hard to get it at first, but once you get some on, it gets a lot easier. Because at first it just wants to stick to the soldering iron. But we will get it on there. Okay, so there we go. There. So now it's on there. And then it's just as simple as getting them together, which is very easy. You just put it on there and then put the soldering iron over it to heat it together. But I'm gonna put some heat shrink on here. Just if you have heat shrink, it's a great thing to use, but if you don't, it's no big deal. But so you heat it up right there till it gets really nice and hot. Here. Okay, it's going. It's just taking a sec. Okay, and there we go. So that one's done. So you bring the heat shrink up and just put it over it. And then what I do is I just take the part that's not super hot, just the side where it lets out all of the heat, and rub it on there, and it melts it over the solder. So I don't have to show you guys the other part. You just have to repeat that same thing for the other side. But there you go. That's nice and sturdy, and that's not going anywhere. See that? And yeah, so you guys just have to do the exact same thing for the other side, and then you'll have it soldered. Thanks for watching, guys.